Welcome back to the channel, and today we got a special guest with me, my beautiful wife, Marianne.
Let's go! What's up, what's up?
We wanted to sit down and do a Q&A style lounge, sit down interview type of vibe today.
Something different.
And, we obviously wanted to hear from the community, see what type of questions you guys had for me. So we're gonna have some trading stuff, we're gonna have some personal questions as well, and overall just kind of like a chill conversation. So something different, something fun. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get straight into these questions.
Let's get right into it. So the first question is, why should someone start trading instead of doing another online biz?
I think for me, the biggest thing with trading right now is how accessible it is to the average person, because things like e-commerce come to mind. Just a lot of different things you could do online, but trading is something where you can literally start with $50, $100, start your first small live account, and you can do some damage with $100, right? So I think that's the coolest thing about it. Other than that, you gotta keep in mind things like prop firms, where you're able to invest as little as like $100 something, $200, and you have access to 5-figure capital. So trading is just something that, because you can get some great information for free online. Obviously, I post a bunch of content that you guys can learn basics and my strategy and things of that nature. It really just gives anybody from any country really, the ability to start a business, right? Sometimes people don't think of trading as a business, but that's exactly what it is. And so to have your first live account with just a small amount of capital and to be able to learn without having to break the bank, I think that's the coolest thing about it.
So first question down, let's move on to the next one. Next question is, what made you move to Houston? And are you ever moving back to Miami? So we got a personal question now.
Yeah, I get this question a lot because especially people from Houston, they're like, why would you ever leave Miami to come here, right? But here's the thing. Back in 2021, we were obviously in a position where we were, up on our lease. We used to live downtown Biscayne, kind of close to the Heat Arena. And once that was up, it was like, the market had changed a lot, right? Housing and everything just got really different in Miami.
Price went up.
Yeah, for sure. And it wasn't even really so much about the money going up. It was just like, what is worth the money that we're paying? Because especially once you become a trader and once you start investing and you have a portfolio and a couple of different assets, you start to look at your money way different. And we're just like, if we're going to pay for something, it has to be worth it. And there was just really nothing that we could find at that time that made sense in Miami. And I think we started really looking at our options as far as, doing something different, because we learn not to stay in your comfort zone, to experience different things, to grow. And we had never really done the whole college going away thing. I remember you literally went to college for like a week and a half. So
a week and a half.
Yeah, that didn't work out, right? But yeah, just having a few connects out in Houston was enough for us to just be like, hey, you know what? Let's just go do something completely like all the way left field, like just out of the norm, right? Everybody in our family is literally all within
Miami.
an hour of each other. So, Houston at the same time wasn't freezing cold 24/7 year round. I was not going to, honestly, like New York, Chicago, up north. Like I just wasn't going to do that. So it was really, I think, between Dallas or Houston, really just kind of like a major city in Texas that we had our eyes set on. And then, obviously destiny runs its course. We found like a cool little home in like middle of Houston, and we did that for about a year, and now we're in the Midtown area close to downtown, and it's been a vibe. Honestly, I think there's a lot of similarities between.
It's very different.
Yeah, there's some similarities between Houston and Miami, to where we didn't feel like we completely changed the entire like style of living. But at the same time, we do see the differences in, as far as like how people treat you, the hospitality, just a couple different things. Miami obviously is going to have a lot of, flexing, a lot of, high life image type of stuff, and Houston's more laid back. It's a little slower paced. People have a lot more of a family touch here. But yeah, Houston has definitely been super dope. However, we are actually moving back to Miami.
Surprise!
At the end of May, start of June. So from the time of this video, basically in the next almost 2 months, we're going to be headed back to the 305. So, it was just a matter of time.
Short little pit stop.
Yeah, just a little pit stop, something to
Just
switch
to
it
say,
up.
just to say that we lived somewhere else that wasn't where we were born and raised. Because not a lot of people get to say that or do that. And some people have the fear and never really want to experience or try new things. But like sometimes you just got to pack up your things and go. And that's it, and that's what we did. And it turned out very well. Houston did what it had to do for us in the last 2 years. And we accomplished what we set out to do out here in Houston. And I feel like it's time to go back home next to our family, to start a family and, take our life to another level because the 305 is where it's at.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think you got to really pay attention to the seasons, right? Like in your life of what life calls you to do. Sometimes you have to really just put your head down into the work. Sometimes you have to make more time for your health or family, whatever the case is. And in that season, when we moved to Houston, it was one of those where it's like, okay, we had just exited a former company, right, that we were with for years. And it was a discovery moment of just kind of going away from everything we knew to really, focus on ourselves, find out what is that we wanted to do, right? What path that we want to kind of go into next, and literally played out perfect. I mean, obviously I became an educator within the past year for a new platform, right? We've been able to travel pretty much more than we ever have. We've made more income than we have ever had. So just pay attention to, what God and life is really trying to tell you to do in a specific season, because that's what's going to take you to your next level for sure.
That's good. Next question. And this is a good question. Did you ever have a make or break moment? And if so, how did that go?
Yeah, so as far as like make or break moment in trading, I think there was never a moment where I really, really was ready to hang it up or quit, right? That just is not an option that I even let into my head. However, I will say there was a time where my mom had given me $1,000 to trade with. This is years ago. And, I had my own funds and everything like that, but she was just seeing me trading and she was seeing me do my thing. And she's like, hey, like, I have $1,000, I want you to like help me make some money off this. And I was just kind of like, all right, let's do it. And for some crazy reason, I had this idea that I was going to trade US 30. And, looking back at it, a lot of people sometimes like they just learn a couple things about trading. They learn a couple strategies, but they don't really have a trading plan. They don't really have an intention of why they're trading, what they're trading. My mindset was just kind of like, well, I'll trade anything that kind of makes sense with this strategy and see what happens. And in the moment, it didn't feel that way, but looking back, that's really what it was. And I remember getting into 2 positions on US 30, and on that specific broker, you could literally jump in with a 0.01 lot size, and you were still losing $100, $200 on a stop loss, to give you an example. So I jumped in 2 positions at a 0.02, and I was in the middle of working at the bank, and I remember checking my phone, and that $1,000, it was down like $700-800 in a matter of like an hour or two. And I just literally had one of my first real moments of paralysis. I don't know if you've ever, watching this, if you've been trading for a while, and if you haven't experienced this, you probably will one day, is where you just see that screen completely red, margin calling, just like about to blow your account. And again, it wasn't even my money, right? It was my mom. And I was just like, whoa, what the heck? Like US 30, never again, right? So, that was a big, shift for me, where I realized like, man, it wasn't just my capital anymore. Somebody else trusted me with it, and I thought I was ready for it, and I wasn't, and I made a stupid decision. And so that taught me a lot. It taught me that, number one, you don't want to be, trading anybody else's money really unless you really know what you're doing, or you have something set in place that is official, right? You don't just grab somebody's money and try to trade it and see what happens. Number two is, again, creating a real plan, understanding, exactly why you're trading, what you're trading, and setting stop losses, all of that. So again, it seems so amateurish at the time, but it is something that made me take trading a whole lot more serious, because I think a lot of times you'll get more moved and affected by your impact on somebody else versus yourself. I think that's why you see when people have like kids, or there's somebody else in the mix involved, you just really take things more serious than if you're just doing things by yourself. So that's why, again, if you're trading and you don't tell anybody that you're trading and you're kind of just doing it in the background, if you want to take trading more serious, let people know that you're trading. Have somebody hold you accountable. Like, have eyes on you, because it's easy to kind of just let yourself down and just not really care about it when nobody's watching. But when you have that pressure of other people, rooting for you or supporting you or whatever the case is, you're going to go out of your way to really take it that much more serious. So that was definitely a make moment, not a break moment. And my final thoughts on that are, when you say make or break, it depends on the path that you go. That's all. That's the only difference. The situation is the situation. It's your perspective and what you do with that situation that decides whether it's make or break, right? So you gotta always look at the upside to anything that happens to you, good or bad, right? And a lot of times the bad is just molding you to be better.
I think a lot of new people are going to be able to get that answer to that question, and it's going to help them a lot, because I feel like a lot of people come in and they're so excited to put money into an account, and they think that because they had a demo account, they practiced a little bit, they got a few trades right, they made a little bit of money with that demo account, and then they put real money into an account, and 2 trades later, gone. And I think a lot of new people are going to be able to get a lot of value from that question. We all need it.
If you haven't blown an account, the best thing you can do is have that happen to you quick. Right? The people that make money really fast in their first couple days or weeks, and they've never had a setback in their trading before, it sets you up for a false expectation sometimes, and for a rude awakening when it finally does come around, right? So, hopefully you don't just blow your account, right? I'm not wishing that on anybody, but at the same time, if that happens to you, you will understand the real risk that comes with trading, and your approach to it will, be straightened out quicker, faster, better now than later. So yeah, for sure. Huge.
Awesome. You're going to like this next question. Is Yeet your favorite artist?
Oh my God, yeah, I just see this on the poll. I'm like, okay, honestly, you're paying attention if you ask that question, because, I do from time to time post either chart images or just me driving around town or whatever, and Yeet is always the one posted on there. So I would say for sure, I think since the last 2 or 3 years, Yeet has definitely become my go-to favorite artist. Obviously, there's nobody better than the GOAT, Kanye West. There's Travis Scott.
As you can see, we love music.
Yeah, but Yeet for sure, I think in the last couple years has been the person that I've burned all their albums and tracks. And it was hard to get Marianne to like Yeet, but she said the same thing about Travis Scott. And now she has tolerated Yeet a little bit. She likes a couple songs. So, yeah, shout out Yeet.
All right, so last and final question. I've been seeing you talk about liberty. What's this all about? This was a good question.
Yeah.
To end it off with.
100%. So, obviously, if you've been following me for these past couple of years, or if you recently just got into my content even, you'll see that my trading style or strategy has really been centered around smart money concepts, supply and demand, and those things that I've learned over the years as far as how the market actually works. And I still obviously definitely believe that, still use it in my trading. However, being an educator for the past year plus and really getting into the nitty gritty with our members and people at events and just, talking to the community, I realized that, a lot of trading, when it comes to a strategy that you learn from a mentor, it's very subjective per person. And what I mean by that is you can learn, patterns, and you can learn market structure and all these things, right? But we're going to slightly see different things on a chart, right? I always have people send me the charts and, they'll see, for example, manipulation or order blocks or this on their chart that I don't necessarily agree with, and vice versa. So there's a lot of opinion and things that are kind of left to chance, even if you've been teaching people a lot of these concepts. So I'm like, how can I create something where it's very mechanical, rule-based, and just simple as possible, to where there's not much room for misinterpretation or for you to see a setup that I don't agree with and vice versa. So Liberty is something that, came into fruition for me, where, we utilize basically a range that happens from a certain time of the day, and we look to break out of that range. And that's what the strategy is basically centered around. Obviously, I have some content on YouTube centered around that a bit, but for my akashx private mentorship group students, they're the ones that really get the full breakdown of this strategy. And essentially, again, it was created just to have a very simple system where people can come in and we all know exactly when we're getting in, what the stop loss is, what our targets are, and it really gives a trade like almost every single day that we're able to take. So since we've been back testing it and we've launched it, we have been killing it, honestly, on the signals.
What was your score last month?
So in March, we went about 13-3, and it was like pure Liberty based, setups, and it's all NASDAQ 100 as well. So it's definitely, just one pair, one entry criteria, same exact stop loss and take profit. So we've really just created something, I think, that is just as simple as possible for even the newest person to come in and be able to, follow along and be able to win. So I'm excited for the evolution of Liberty for sure. Obviously I'm working with our tech team and our CEO to maybe even create a scanner that people can go in and see the trades without me even having to be there. So that's the goal. I think we're going to continue to expand on this. It's honestly only been like 30-60 days since we've really been putting it out there. So a lot to come on that side of things for Liberty and akashx, which is our private mentorship group company, right? So yeah, man, excited for it. But is that all the questions?
Yeah, that was all the questions.
All right, cool. So I hope you guys, got some laughs out of this conversation. Hope you guys got some value from some of the questions that we went over today. But yeah, we are, like we mentioned earlier, moving to Miami in about the next less than 60 days. So let me know if you would love to see a vlog showing the moving process, right? Because a lot of, we've become like experts on moving, I think, already. Like we bounce around a lot. I think we like to stay on our toes and not get too comfortable at a certain place.
Very frequently.
So it's gonna be definitely a challenge again to pack up all our stuff and move halfway across the country again, right?
Again.
So I think if you guys want to see it, we'll turn it into a vlog where you can show us basically taking down the setup, everything here, and then getting on our way back to Miami and setting up the new place. So guys, appreciate y'all. Hope you enjoyed this conversation. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Share this with your friends. Turn on your post notifications so you don't miss another video. And we are almost at 100 subs. So let's go ahead and get that done. We appreciate you guys so much. And I will see y'all on the next video.